Hello, lovers of Dungeons and Dragons, and welcome to Holy Rollerz Special Ops, which is a break-off from the original Holy Rollerz, where we are following the adventures of the Divine Fellowship, an interfaith alliance of priests dedicated to protecting the world of Eonia from extraplanar threats. And we are very fortunate tonight to have a couple of our previous guest stars who are now the stars of Holy Rollerz Special Ops, and to be joined by a new star. I'm Ryan, I'm your DM, and let's start with Matt and do introductions. Tell us who you are and who you play.
Sure. I am Matt, also Sage of Sorcery. I'm at Sage of Sorcery 1 on Twitter, and I am the organizer behind Holy Rollerz, and I get to switch into the player seat as Ryan takes over the DM, and he's already swearing horrible vengeance against me. I'm not nervous at all. I play Sister Fadaver, the Hope Maiden of Bestera, goddess of protection and healing.
John.
Hey everyone, my name's John Christie. I'm a voice actor. You can find me everywhere, including Twitter, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. But I am playing Thora Mikitas, the druid of Finhefara.
Lulu.
Hello everyone, I'm Lulu. Today I'm playing Lavender, the paladin of Vahara. So, look forward to it.
And our new star, Tommy.
Hello, I'm Tommy, and I am playing Odelia, who is a cleric of Moiris.
Wonderful, wonderful. So a little recap. It's been quite a while since our last encounter, which was a big old-fashioned brawl, where all of us faced off against each other to select the voice of the Hallowed Council. And after that strange battle, we made sure that Sister Fadaver did not win, and but there were a number of threats that were pressing on the Hallowed Council, and it was determined that we had to kind of divide up and go to address those threats. This party, the Special Ops party, was sent to East River to deal with a threat that to deal with a threat that we didn't know exactly what was going on, just that there were reports of terrible nightmares, and that the nightmares themselves were seeming to come to life in some cases. And so without any delay, the party set off. We are also, the party at that point included Thora and Lavender, Sister Fadaver, who almost got left behind because they thought leaving a couple hours earlier might mean that she wouldn't know that they had left. And then another member of our party, whose name escapes me. I want to call her Scarlet Moth. She was the player. Scarlet Moth, who played Aelin, the priestess, a black cloak of Vana, the goddess of midnight and witchcraft. And strangely enough, during your first night on the road, she ditched you. And you became aware of this, when you woke up the next morning to discover that she was missing, and all that's there in her place is a little black ribbon that is tied to your pack, Lavender.
Of course it is. Great.
Looks like she just tore a little teeny piece off her black cloak and left a ribbon on your pack.
Take it off. Put it on my sword.
As you go to take it off, you notice your pack is feeling a bit heavy.
Did she fill it with rocks? Oh my. If you guys were still asleep, you now wake up to Lavender just being like, in the name of Vaha, I cannot.
Are we all watching this now? Are we awake? Is this?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sister Faudever mumbles something like, oh, I see Aylin's gone. She should probably run off with a man.
I mean,
That's it.
honestly, if she found one in that space of time, we should be congratulating her. But I unzip my bag, anticipating.
Okay, you see a horrid-looking tome on the inside. It looks like it's bound in some kind of deep red hide. Etched into its surface is a demonic skull and some arcane runic symbols. And like you're kind of hesitant to even touch it because the pages look like they're made of some kind of humanoid skin. There's a small strip of parchment that is rolled up and left like tucked in the book.
Do the rest of us see this, or is Lavender like leaning over it?
I don't know.
Lavender is hiding it now. God damn it!
Okay.
Take the parchment.
The parchment says she fit quite a bit on there. It says, "Our paths diverge again. I had a visit from my dark mother and I must go. I left you Elspeth's spellbook. There are a couple of pages from the Witch of Alderac in Elspeth's book. Now that they are no longer protected, they can be scried. They can't be removed, so good luck with that. It's Gizik's birthright, but I trust you'll know best how to handle it. The mother also mentioned to watch for a blue companion to join you, whatever that means. She'll help you deal with whatever's going on at East River. Watch yourself."
And then a middle finger emoji.
No, and if you recall, Gizik, the Hagspawn witch, his mother was Elspeth, and her spellbook ended up with Aylin, who delivered it to Dark Mother Magra of her faith to try to, check it out. The Witch of Alderac, her book, the myth is that if it were ever to be fully assembled, she would return, and so the pages in the book that are part of her spell book, Dark Mother Magra apparently was unable to remove those, or so Aylin says. And so you've gotta, those things being out and about just make you a magnet for anybody who might be interested in retrieving pages from the book of the Witch of Alderac.
Sounds like her. All right.
All right, so you're leaning over your pack inspecting, and Sister Faudever walks over and she goes, "Well, I suppose we begin to go." "Oh, what are you looking at, dear?"
Aylin left her secret journal behind, which is horrendous. And then I will zip it up and turn around and go, also, Aylin's not coming back.
All right.
But
You say that, and Sister Faudever goes, "Oh," like sigh of relief, and she says, "Oh, I mean, I do hope the poor dear everything's all right."
oh, trust me, she'll be fine. It's us we're gonna worry about.
"Oh no, I'm sure. I can already feel dark clouds moving away from us. We'll be fine."
You guys hear a couple of clinks, and then Thora turns around, and in his hand he has three like those old beat up iron teacups that you always see travelers carrying. And he's like, "I just finished the tea. Anyone need any?"
Yeah, you are the best part of this group, I swear.
He turns the cup toward you so you can grab the handle.
She skips the handle, just grabs the entire cup, and she's like,
Okay. All right, Sister Faudever says, "Oh, tea and things seem to have balanced themselves out. I think we're off to a lovely start this morning." And then she sips from it.
I think we should all sit down and take a deep breath, because Aylin has left us, but she has left something that only she would do. The Dark Mother. We're familiar.
Should I make a religion check?
Do we know who she is?
You could make a religion check. She's fairly well known if you know about Vana.
I don't know if Thora is super familiar.
I got
So
a
I'm gonna make a
23.
religion check just to see. I also got a 23.
Okay.
Oh wait, 22. Excuse me.
So
Oh, you know nothing now.
you don't know when she says the Dark Mother. It's not like, oh, that Dark Mother, but you know that the term Dark Mother refers to a title in the hierarchy of Vana's faith.
Okay.
But it also could be like, Loth's faith or something. I mean, there are a number of icky Dark Mothers out there.
Yeah.
Either that or she's being racist.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So what did Lavender say that she?
I said that Aelin had left something behind that only she would. And then I said, do you know the Dark Mother?
All right.
Thora's like, no.
Sister Fadaver wrinkles her nose and she says, some member of her cult, I believe. Why? She's not coming, is she?
Worse. She was unable to fix a book that we now have in our possession that's going to attract evil spirits and things. And I don't know if I can touch it, but it's in my bag.
Oh, sweet lady protector. She makes the sign of the shield.
Yeah.
And she says, well, can't we just get rid of it? Can't you unmagic it?
I mean, I could ask Vahara, but I don't think I'm capable of that kind of magic.
Not to mention, if we just get rid of it, who knows whose hands it could fall into.
But surely we can't bring an artifact of evil with us. We're heading into a town that is requested.
Sister Fadaver, imagine more that we're not taking it with us, but we're keeping it out of harm's way, out of other people's hands.
She just kind of
We're protecting the masses. In the end, we're keeping people safe from this artifact.
Well, I suppose we could always get a fire going and try to burn it.
We'll definitely put that on the list of things to think about. For now, I think we should all get ready to move on.
I agree. The faster we get there, the better. People are waiting for help.
Can I say a quick prayer to Vahara for guidance? Because Lavender is panicked.
I don't get why you're panicked just because somebody left an evil spell book in your pack. I don't see why you should be freaking out. But
it's just a spell book.
You're right, it's just human skin. Still vegan.
It's oh boy. All right, is she gonna pray out loud?
Yeah. She tries to cast it off like just really casually, like doing her morning prayers. But you pick up some words from a dialect that like sort of mean like, oh my good Lord Vahara, what the heck is going on? And there's a lot of like cleansing water being consumed. Usually it's just like on the skin, but this time she's just drinking it.
Okay.
Nice.
So you guys are getting ready. We're gonna jump over to Odelia. Odelia will tell the party, not the party, but the players just a little about yourself, so we know where you're coming from.
All right. Well, my name is Odelia Almaran. I'm from Arcantor, from a wee little fishing village. But I was raised by the clerics of
Moirys.
Moirys. This is terrible. Because she's the water goddess, I keep wanting to call her Moist. And I know that's wrong, but I said it one time and now it won't get out of my brain.
That's fine.
Anyway, I am kind of a big deal in the Church of Moirys. I am the one that they send out when they have big problems. that need to be fixed, and they need someone who's really good at big problems. And it's definitely not they send me out because I can't be trusted with the regular clerical duties. It's definitely just because I have such good skills. But I am working very hard to be a friend to all. And sometimes I do lose my temper a wee bit, but I really work hard to be kind. I am a halfling cleric. And yeah, I work really hard to bring the blessings of the water goddess to the people.
Well, this is great because so you've been traveling pretty much from town to town on behalf of the church,
Yes.
and you were recently directed to Winter Run in the Adara Republic to represent Moirus at the Divine Fellowship. Unfortunately, delays in your travels made it so you arrived too late to meet the voice of the Hallowed Council or participate in the ritual itself. And so
Don't worry, I'm not mad. It's fine. It's all fine. I'm not mad I didn't get a voice in the choosing or anything.
when you knock on the door to come in, you're met by a robed gentleman, and he says, "Greetings. I'm Deacon Durkin. I can pass along whatever message you wish for the voice."
Your name is Deacon Durkin? I mean, hello. I'm Odelia. I was meant to be here, but I was a bit delayed.
Odelia? Do you mean Odelia Almhuran? How do you say that last name? Is that you?
Yes, that's me, Almaran, from our cantor.
Very well. A package arrived for you. So strange that the package would come for someone that I didn't know would be here, but apparently someone knew you would be coming here. So here it is. Come on in. You can open it here in the lounge.
All right.
He hands you a package about this big with a letter on top. And you recognize your name written in the letter. You recognize the script as that of the writing Cethric Glendis, who's a druid cleric of Moirus. You often receive directions and communications from Cethric.
All right, I open the letter.
It's cursed. You explode. No, I'm
Jeez.
It was lovely.
Whoa. Welcome to Holy Rollerz.
No, the letter reads, "Oh, I hope this finds you well. You are to join a druid of Fin Hafara, Thora by name. You will already have a head start, but you can use the contents of this package to catch up. I know you are the right person for this job as it involves children. May you see the way wherever the journey takes you, sailing safely over rough waters and weathering the waves, dips, and crests. Signed, C." And then there's a postscript that says, "For Deacon Durkin, I'm trusting you, old friend, to welcome this woman into your fellowship. In exchange, I'll send you that information you wanted. Cethric."
All right. I am excited because there are children involved, and I love an opportunity to help the wee ones. I show the postscript to Deacon Durkin and say, "See, I am supposed to be here, and apparently you're getting something from it too." And I say, "So, can you take me to this Thora fella?"
No, but I will, let's get you on your way. The druid you seek, Thora, is headed to East River. I'll send you with some credentials so they don't see you as an imposter. Too many of those around. One moment."
Right.
He leaves and goes to get something that, he's gone for a moment. But the package is still bound and twined.
Oh, I while he's gone, I open the package.
So inside the package is about a 5-inch ivory horse. And it is marked on the sides of the horse with little waves. And it seems like when you kind of turn it and it catches the light, it almost seems iridescent. But you as soon as you touch the object itself, you feel like a connection to it, and you just intrinsically know what it is, and it can be used to summon a horse. And if that horse is in water, it's a seahorse. If it's on land, it's a horse. And if you're riding it on land, it goes like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang style, and turns into the seahorse as soon as it gets in the water, kind of thing. But it doesn't fly. There's no fly.
Rad.
Welcome to the stream. You got a magic item.
That's brilliant. Oh, I love Cethric.
Cethric wants to make sure you are able to catch up, and he was fresh out of Harley's to send you. So.
All right. Well, I'm excited about that.
So Deacon Durkin comes back, and he's got a very small sealed, wax sealed envelope, and he says, "Just give this to Thora. He'll be able to." If that's who you're headed to meet, he'll be able to verify that you are who you say you are.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just immediately I'm out.
Hey.
Oh wait, and then I turn around and say, which direction am I supposed to be going? I mean, sorry, I don't know where it is.
Just head west, southwest on the main road. East River is on it's the east of the river.
Oh, all right. Go west to East River. That makes perfect sense.
Just take the roads, follow the signs. You can't get lost.
How far is it? How far am I traveling? I have a horse now.
It should be a few days.
All right.
9 months later.
You should know that the reason I was delayed in the first place is that I'm going to stop to help any kid I see who needs their shoes tied or anybody getting picked on by a bully. The reason I'm always late is because I'm just going to stop to help anyone that I see that I perceive as needing my help, whether they actually want it or not.
She's wholesome.
Do you say that to Deacon Durkin? Do you tell Deacon Durkin that?
Yes.
He
I'm
says,
also a bit of an oversharer.
how noble. So, God's at speed, and then he just closes the door.
All right. Bye then. Bye.
Don't worry, we all have the same impression of Deacon Durkin. Hello, I'm here to be helpful.
So
he's not a field man.
No, he's not.
He's not a field man.
No.
And the field men make him a little uncomfortable.
Understandable. It's just, I always find it super funny that he's always just like, hello, it is me, Deacon Durkin.
You'd think he'd have a better sense of humor with a name like that.
So Thora and Lavender, about a half a day from East River, maybe a little more. There's oh no, sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah, because I got kicked out of the party somehow. Thora and Lavender.
Bye.
You managed to ditch her on the way.
We left her with the
Yeah.
book. You just stay in the hotel room. We'll be back.
Guard the book.
Most of the travel is fairly uneventful. One thing about traveling on roads in the Republic, the roads include periodic groves of trees and occasional berry bushes, and you recognize these as the work of some of Bestera's faithful, planted and tended as a way to help travelers. It's not just Johnny Appleseed who planted some apples. These Besterans, it's kind of like pass it forward.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Yeah, you know what I meant. Pay it forward.
Pass it forward. Don't even take it. Just.
Yeah. Just...
But what you notice that is strange is that they have almost completely been picked over which is unusual because people only take what they need. And given the lack of travelers you've seen on the road, either the trees are underproducing by a lot, or someone has come through and like cleaned them off.
By the way, every other bush that we pass, Sister Faudever claims to have planted. She's absolutely sure she planted that one. She remembers
can actively watch Lulu get upset every time Sister Faudever
it's not
claims
lavender.
something.
It's Lulu.
Yeah, it's Lulu. No, the second he was like, she claims she planted that bush, your face fell. You went from like just got a little sadder.
Just don't
Listen,
speak, sister. Don't
Lavender
speak.
and Lulu, there is no difference. The sarcasm is both of us.
Okay.
So, and the closer you get, you also notice that many, until all, of the signs have been vandalized, and some of them have been vandalized, like turned the wrong way. And you're familiar enough with the Republic that you're not going to be worried about getting lost. Others have actually been, like someone's changed Aspen and they've taken off the pen and added an extra S. I mean, those kinds of things. I mean, they've been, but it's startling. This is not normal behavior for. I mean, this is a very well kept road.
So all along the road, as we're seeing these vandalized signs and the fruit picked off the bushes, Sister Faudever turns to Lavender and she says, "Did Aelin come this way by any chance?"
Looks like it.
Okay. And every time we run past something else that's been vandalized, she makes the Marge Simpson noise.
After about the third like orchard, like I assume they're like farms, so like it's a block of trees, then another block of trees, then another block of trees. At about the third, Thora just walks off the road and like starts examining one of the trees. And he's looking for like, was this like actively kids coming in, or was this like a locust swarm that came through and just devoured everything? Was this like a disease of the tree, or is it literally just vandals?
You don't see any signs of disease from the tree.
Okay.
There's no evidence that. I mean, as a druid, you probably could just like feel the tree and be able to tell if it's sick, and you're not getting anything from the tree. What you're noticing is that if it were just kids, you would think that maybe there would be some of the higher fruit that would still be there, but the fruit has either been taken, but there's a lot that has just been knocked to the ground, and you can tell because it's like it's not falling because it was ripe. You see stems ripped off of the branches, and so the ground is littered with rotten fruit. So someone's
terrible waste.
Or you could also think that maybe a very heavy storm might do this, but you would have been in a storm and there's no damage to the leaves. So it looks intentional.
Gotcha. I think at that point, Thora is like literally like, I know it's rotting fruit and this is gross, but this is what Thora would do. He's like gonna pick up one of these like old gross apples and flip it over just to check like the level of like undergrowth life. Like, are there maggots? Is it ants? Is it like, is the wildlife seem okay?
Yeah.
So a storm would have washed away them too. So there's no evidence of anything. So this was just people being jerks. And now he's mad. And his example of mad is he kind of comes out of the forest. His facial expression has not changed, but he's kind of stomping a little bit. He's just like still completely placid, but he's just like he's and he comes in and he says, "It had to have been people just completely wasting an orchard." 2, 3.
Sister Faudever looks at you. "Did you sense tiefling in the plants?"
Oh, that's
No.
enough. She wouldn't cause this kind of havoc.
I don't
You
even think
said she causes disasters all the time.
There's a difference between disaster and chaos.
This is just a waste. There was no order to this. This was as if someone decided to come through and just pick the entire orchards clean, but then waste the fruit. This wasn't the act of a sane person. These are all things he's inferring. I'm not like trying to like advance the story with this. These are just things like he's like, no sane.
This is what
person
I
would do
want
this.
for the plot.
Yeah.
This is the time when Lavender regrets not having detect good and bad.
Well, I have it. So so far, I mean, you haven't said anything that would cause me to feel like I needed to detect evil. She just looks at it and puts her hand on her greatsword and says, someone should be arrested for this, or at the very least, severely chastened.
I love that choice of word.
Can I have a look at the road in the forest? Like, does it look like there's been a lot of people walking through here?
No more than usual. The road is paved. It's stone, and it's not. There are trees that line the road, but it is not like forested. It's not a forested country. It's mostly plains. Most of the groves are intentional, and then you have the random copse of trees or whatever for lumber.
Are there
Can I
any
ask
tracks? So go ahead, Lulu.
Sorry, that's fine.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how far are we from like a big group of people?
You at this point you are about a day away from East River. So there may be small villages, but as far as another city, another town, really, East River's the next.
But there's enough for a crazed mob to come running through here and strip the trees.
Yeah. Although, in response to your question about tracks, you don't notice any more tracks than would be typical. If anything, there are fewer.
I think at this point, Thora is going to turn to Sister Fadaver and be like, do you sense anything out of the ordinary? The nature is normal. There doesn't seem to be any extra foot traffic.
Okay.
There's something out of the ordinary?
Oh, she actually makes the sound. And like holds her hands up, and she tries to detect evil.
Not a lick.
Well, Aylin's not here.
Wait, what's the range on that? It's not like
Wait,
miles.
no, wouldn't he sense something in my back? She sense? Sorry.
Do I sense evil coming from her pack?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. File that away for later. Okay. She says, I don't sense any evil in the area, but then again, evil is known to disguise itself.
True.
She says, I think we should best get to East River as soon as possible. Whoever has done this, in all likelihood, has fled back to the town.
Lavender really wants to have a great discussion with her about evil and whether or not it actually exists, but restrains herself.
Wow, Lavender wants to speak with her. That's an improvement.
Always.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Let's head to town.
Let's move on.
Suppose there's anything we can do for here.
So, the following day, fairly early in the morning, you're on the road again, and about an hour in, a robin flies and does a couple of circles and then comes and lands right on your shoulder, Thora. And you recognize it as an animal messenger when it speaks, saying, something is trying to prevent travelers from approaching East River. Come with caution, Hope Master Gendelin. Gendelin was the Hope Master who had requested the Hallowed Council's aid in the first place.
Will this robin return a message as well, or is it just send, or does it just send?
Just sends. If you want, you can use Animal Messenger as well, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't have Animal Messenger.
You do. You're a druid.
Oh, do I just auto have that? Okay.
Yeah, you automatically have Animal Messenger.
Okay, I'll take that. So he says, he takes the robin off his shoulder and puts it on his finger and says, thank you for the warning. We'll make sure we're cautious. We'll be there, and like a day, or
by this evening for sure.
we'll be arriving by the evening. Anything we can do to help, we'll be ready then. And he just kind of like lets the robin fly.
Just
Whoosh.
So the bird thinks it's done. Like, oh, I delivered my message, and he's like, "Oh, now you're gonna deliver mine."
Yeah.
And he holds it like that, like an ice cream cone.
No, it's more like on his finger. Calm down.
Okay.
Calm down
Pretty
there,
bird,
Dave.
pretty
Silly
bird.
boys.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Odelia, you are making incredible time on this tireless horse, and so coming around a bend, the main party has just come around a bend where there's a little rivulet that's from the river, and Odelia, you are nearing them. You didn't see them go around the bend, but you are coming up right behind them, and so all of you hear a voice coming from the direction of the river that says, it's help, like choking, and then help.
Thora's running.
Yeah. Sister Fodivere bolts.
I urge my horse to a gallop.
Okay, so you come through just over this rise, and you see down there's a woman who is at least you think it's a woman. The hair's kind of was in a bun, and now it's kind of all over the place. Gray hair, right in the middle of the river, and she's small like she's shorter than Odelia, and she's sitting there flailing around, screaming help, and goes under and choking on water, and there's, you notice a black cat that's just sitting by the edge of the river, kind of flicking its tail, just watching this gnome drown.
Thora dives in the river.
Lavender is uncomfortable with the proximity between deciding to move on and hearing this, so she will try to remain hidden and watch, looking for traps.
Okay. Sister Fodivere bolts after Thora, and as they're running towards the river, she goes, "Turn into a porpoise or a dolphin or a sea chicken, something quick."
Sea chicken.
I have swarm form. I could probably turn into like
Piranhas, great.
like a school of fish, but I don't think that's going to help a gnome.
I don't know how far back Odelia is, but she's just going to ride her magical water horse right into the water and just swim in seahorse form right out to the gnome.
Oh, that must be a sight.
So you see this beautiful white horse just go tearing off into the water, and then all of a sudden, and it's like shooby-doo, shoo-shooby-doo, swimming right over to the
Sea ponies.
Like completely outpaces Thora in like an instant.
You guys get there nearly the same time, pull her up on the horse, and drag her to shore, and she's just like sprawled like this, coughing and choking on this water. Oh, thank you. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell how old she is, but she's definitely older. Her hair is graying to the point where it's mostly white. And she's just wearing a pale homespun dress.
Sister Fodivere says, "We were on our way."
Oh, I'm sorry. She was drowning. I didn't think we should stand on ceremony.
Okay. She looks miffed.
Is the black cat still there?
Yeah.
Okay, Lavender will come out and start heading towards it. Just like, okay.
I love it. Lavender's a detective. This is the way a detective would behave, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Thora gets out of the water just like a wet cat. He's just like robes that were once like billowy are now like stuck to his form. And he walks over to our new halfling friend and he says, "Thank you. I jumped in without thinking."
okay. Are you still on the horse? Did you pull her up on the horse?
Yeah, I just yanked her up with me.
And is it a full-sized horse, DM?
No, it's a hobby horse.
I'm just wondering because Sister Fadaver's first comment when she looks at Odelia and then she looks down and looks at the horse and she goes, "How did you get up on the horse?"
It's like an Icelandic pony. It's like a halfling appropriate horse.
It adjusts to her size. So
Okay.
if she wants it to be like
So it is a
boodle
hobby.
size, it can be. So
Okay. Well, Sister Fadaver is the doctor, so she's going to walk over and she goes, "Are you all right, dear? I mean, I've probably got something that'll warm you up in here." And she starts looking through her healer's kit.
she's like, don't bother, and she just pops up like bumbly, like springy, pops up, and she says, "Please, for your help, you simply must come join me for a bite to eat." And she starts taking off over another little rise.
Your lunch.
There's a log near the river that she stops at to get. She gets picks up a pair of golden gloves and puts them on her hands. Not like made of gold, golden colored.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
it was like,
goddamn.
wow. Yeah. That's
She's down.
Fancy.
And she puts a black cloak around her that has a silver wolf head clasp. And then she snaps her fingers and the cat kind of trails after her. And she's like, come on. The food won't wait.
Yeah, we found a cult.
we okay. Do we recognize the wolf's head clasp? Do we see it?
It's fairly prominent. I mean, for her size, it's fairly prominent when she swings it around and puts it on there. You can make a religion check.
Okay. It's a
Can I do that?
17.
Two. Is that okay for me to
Lavender?
do that too?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, wait, I was waiting for someone to say it. Oh, that's a 19
Oh, snap.
plus religion, which is an 11, makes it
30.
19 plus 11. Thank you.
No problem.
A 30.
That's
So
a number.
you wrote a small thesis on the wolf's head symbol.
I wrote a lot of thesis.
You were totally paying attention in class that day in church.
Such a nerd.
B-side.
Sunday school represent.
Okay.
How about Thora?
That's not very good. Especially considering I think I know what it is. 18 total.
Yeah. The DC is actually lower for you. It is a symbol of Finhafara.
Yeah.
But what strikes you, especially so Lavender, you with your 30, you notice that your eyes pick up on that. You also notice it's a distinctly black cloak, and her gloves remind you of the golden hand of Vahara, one of Vahara's symbols as well. It's just it's really strange. And all these images come rushing to you, and you're like, coincidence. It's just so
Can
strange.
I ask, like, are they usually allied? Like, would that be abnormal to me?
To have the symbols of three gods.
Yeah, like it's that.
That's pretty freaky weird.
What's the third god she has a symbol of?
Well, if the black cloak represents Mana and the gold gloves represent Vahara, I mean they're all ifs, but
Sister Fadavera is going to turn over to Odelia, and Odelia, you can tell she's still miffed that you took her rescue, and she says to you, Odelia, Well, you certainly did come here very suddenly. What brought you leaping into the middle of the river like that so heroically?
Oh well, I just heard her calling for help, but I'm looking for someone named Thora. Do you know? Have you seen anyone like that?
Oh,
The damp cat turns. He says, yes, I'm I'm Thora. How can I be of assistance?
Oh, I'm so pleased to meet you. My name's Odelia. I was sent by Sethric Gundris to assist you to help the group here.
Oh, well, we are happy to have you. Thank you. Please, tell us a little bit about yourself.
do you know her? Do you know him? Are you friends?
Are we just overlooking the fact that a halfling just put together a symbol of Vihara with a symbol of honor?
Does Lavender say that out loud?
Yeah, Lavender is freaking out. She's like, I need more holy water.
Okay.
I need more holy water.
Oh well, I'm a cleric of Moiris, so the river's kind of my domain. That's why I'm so quick to jump in. But yeah, they sent me just to help on whatever mission you're on right now. I don't know. I'm really just kind of a traveling helper, I guess. So I'm just
Okay,
here to help.
Sister Faudever turns to Thora and she says, I don't remember her being at the choosing. Oh, were you at the choosing?
Well, I got a wee bit delayed. I found some other people who needed some help, and I thought I could still make it on time. She kind of has that, at the beginning of Incredibles when Mr. Incredible's like, I still got time, and he's doing all the things like that. That is her in a nutshell. She's like, oh, I can help this person, and I've still got time to get there. And then, but she doesn't. She's just late.
Sister Faudever scolds you. She says, well, dear, I do think that one does need to prioritize. I mean, it was quite the important event. You really shouldn't have missed it. But that's all right. I'm sure Moiris's folk forgive things like that. Common sense and all.
Lavender loses it at this point, and she. Sorry,
How old is Sister Faudever?
She can't be more than like 35, 36.
50.
Oh, so she's the same age as me. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're quite right.
And Lavender says what?
Oh, Lavender has lost her cool. And she says, sister, some of us put more focus on what's actually happening around us than ceremonies.
Okay. And she says, well, that's all right, dear. I forgive you.
The gnome turns back around, comes back, and she's standing with her hands on her hips saying, are you going to come eat or what?
Who are you?
Me? I'm Krita. I'm the one whose life you people just saved. Well, except for you. You were hiding in a bush. But I know you would have saved me eventually. Now come on, let's go.
And Krita, are you a member of the Divine Fellowship as well?
Divine Fellowship? What's the Divine Fellowship? I suppose we're all part of the Divine Fellowship of sorts, but
Thora gets that Metal Gear Solid red exclamation point over his head. He's concerned.
Sister Faudever looks like she's searching for a way to describe it.
He says, I'm eating.
In 4E, do you do insight checks like you do in 5E? Like, can I ask the DM what kind of a vibe are we getting off this gnome lady? Is she leading us to her Hansel and Gretel house to cook us?
You can totally make an insight check.
All right, what is there a?
It's wisdom.
Okay.
While this is happening, I think Thora is going to sidle up to Lavender and be like, what is your impression of this situation?
It's horrendous.
You got a 5?
I sure did. And that should just clue you into how I generally roll. So
Yes.
Did you add your bonus to the 5, or
I
was
sure
that?
did. Well, I added my wisdom modifier. Is
Oh,
that right?
the skills
a
are
4
all
plus 1.
calculated for you on your character sheet. On whatever page your skills are on,
Oh, wait, skills.
it's all added for you together. So right next to wherever the skill of insight is, it will give it to you.
So I add. So that one says 5 after it. So I add 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 9 then.
Nice.
So much better.
Lovely. I think your halfling self is distracted by the food, but that could be very
There's no you
11.
picked up no deception in her.
All right.
No.
I mean, then
I turn back to Thora. Let's not go British. Either this gnome magically fell into the middle of a river by herself and seems to have had no business there and survived very quickly after almost drowning, and then wants to take a bunch of strangers to her home to eat lunch, or we found a trap.
That was about where my thoughts were falling. I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Sister Fodiver turns to you and says, "Oh dear, we don't have time for a nap." And then she turns back to Odelia.
I know I'm younger than you, but
How old was Thora? He's like in his 70s.
Yeah, but you're a half elf. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
At that,
how old
he
Lavender
turns
is.
back to Lavender and he says, I'm the diplomat. You're the
The diplomat?
detective. The diplomat. I'm the diplomat. You're the detective. I will take whatever instruction you find the most necessary. I'll follow your
Exercise
lead.
caution. We'll keep her on side. Make nice and leave as soon as possible. Give her as little information as we can.
Gotcha. And then Thora will begin following the gnome woman the entire time, exchanging pleasantries. Like, just, I'm Thora of Finhefara. And just like, it goes on. It's diplomat speak. So he's like asking about where she's from, like what the local gossip is, blah, blah, blah.
The entire time you're doing that, Sister Fodiver is subtly continuing to suggest to Odelia that she should have arrived during the choosing and she ought not to be late again. She's just finding new ways to say it.
I think without Aelin, Lavender's just
nodding
more of a creep than
pleasantly.
normal.
Lavender, what?
I think without Aelin, Lavender's just very like Aelin like makes her a bit more approachable and entertaining, but now she's just like peak weird angry Sherlock. So she's not interacting with anyone. She's
So
just looking
Odelia's
good.
not picking up the bait then? Odelia's just nodding and smiling and
Mhm.
okay.
So you come around, and she has a blanket laid out. There's a large cornucopia that's spilling bread and vegetables out the end, and the black cat jumps onto the blanket and just kind of, lazily flicks its tail and is sitting there. She reaches over and grabs a big old peach, and she whips out a knife and just starts, cuts it very, very deftly into 5 pieces. She says, let's have a bite. And she hands out the peach, keeps the biggest piece for herself, and then starts to pass out the other pieces.
She bake them into a pie. Okay.
No. And so she shoves this the whole thing in her little mouth, and is sitting there kind of chewing outside her mouth. So as I said, I'm Krita, and this is Espera. I'll bet the 4 of you stand out in the crowd, eh? A druid, let's see, and priests of Vahara, Vestera, and Moiris. Well met.
All right, Sister Fodiver takes a bite of the pear, and then she goes, don't want to talk with my mouth full. Which her entire purpose for saying that is to lecture the gnome for talking with her mouth full.
Thora doesn't take a bite yet, but he does say, I notice you're wearing the symbol of Finhafara. Are you a member of the clergy?
This? Oh, I just picked this up. I really like wolf's heads.
And the gloves?
Aren't they lovely? They're so my color, and they go with the blue of my dress.
So you're a
Gold
thief.
and
A thief? A thief? He says, no, I didn't say I stole them. I said I picked them up.
Doesn't imply a contract for sale, but was there? Is there a shop nearby?
He says, I've had these for ages. So suspicious, dear. I love it. So typical of a Vaharan priestess.
So you've met more of my kind.
Oh, yes. Yes, always the intellectual, always the problems to be solved, riddles to be figured out. You're delightful, dear.
Funny,
If
this
you are a
area
little-
seems rather isolated for that kind of interaction, but one is always surprised. What do you
Thora's
do?
jaw is on the ground.
Yeah, I know. I
She's
think
just like-
Lavender is going like DEFCON 4, and Sister Potiphar is like, oh, do you get a lot of traffic through here? I mean, other than Odelia.
Says, no, I'm a pilgrim myself. I'm headed to Horta.
That perks his ear. What business do you have in Horta?
Oh, just a pilgrimage. It's a city I haven't seen for a while. Why? Have you been there recently?
That's
No,
one
but
of
I
my
hope you're not planning on eating any of the berry bushes along the way. Some miscreant has vandalized all of the eating fruit trees on the way.
Yes,
So
I
naughty.
noticed that. I noticed that. Strange. And the signs too. And she says, I was fixing that one over there, and you can see she's somehow managed to wrest a sign from out of the ground and has like started repainting this sign.
The more that happens, the more Thora is like getting to Lavender's level of like DEFCON.
So she has one of the signs from the side of the road actually
Yeah.
in her home.
No, we're not in a home. We're just in a
Picnic field.
There's a blanket laid out and this cornucopia. But you see, she's got some sort of a sign that has been pulled out, and you can tell it's mid-repair.
So she's having a paint signing picnic.
Yeah.
Okay.
We broke
Um,
Lulu.
Yeah. I don't know. I think at this point, Sister Fadavera is starting to wonder, like, did she pull the sign out herself? But she's so tiny, she just automatically assumes that's impossible.
Odelia is entirely oblivious. She's just kind of like sidled around to the side, and she's found a plate, and she's got some bread and some cheese, and she's just going for 11sies.
She's Sister
Which is
Fadavera
a
makes a
bit-
comment about your portion sizes.
What about second breakfast?
Oh, it looks like someone has a healthy appetite for two.
Well, I've been doing a lot of rescuing this morning, so
Can I inspect the paint? Like, is it the same paint that I saw had vandalized the signs?
No, it looks like some sort of just homemade concoction.
Oh,
Looks
we're
like
homemaking concoctions. No, no.
like an old ink bottle that's been refilled with some sort of pasty paint.
Okay.
She says, so I'm headed to Horta. Where are you headed?
East River. We're there to answer a distress call from Hope Master Gendolin.
Ah!
Lavin just turns and looks at her and is like, you are incredible on this mission. I don't know where we'd be without you.
Oh, that's
That
so kind of
scream-
you, dear.
Like, Thora's face is a complete mask of indifference, but inside you just hear screaming.
She says, oh, East River. I've heard they have the most amazing gardens. You'll have to check out the gardens and let me know what you think. Well, I guess if we meet in Horta, if we ever cross paths again. Well, I'm full. You want to take some food for the road? And she picks up this cornucopia and starts like shoving stuff in it.
An actual cornucopia?
An actual cornucopia, which I'll let Sister Fadaver make a knowledge religion check.
That's an 18.
The cornucopia also being a symbol of Vestera.
Yeah.
Oh,
And she's
my. She says, and you have a Besteran. Is it a Besteran cornucopia, like straight off Yondala's shield kind of
what
thing?
it looks like.
Oh, and you have a Besteran cornucopia. Where did you?
Karen? I just think it's pretty. And she's tucking it in.
And where did you manage to that? I mean, where do they hand out Besteran? I mean, where are these made? Are these for festivals or like? Is this?
Yeah, hers looks pretty nice though. Like,
Does it look like she jacked it off the altar of a chapel? Or...
No, it doesn't look like a holy symbol per se. It looks like just like a family heirloom kind of thing, you know.
Okay.
From the gift shop of the chapel.
She's just sightseeing at every church and is just like helping herself to goodies along the way.
Okay. At that point, Sister Fadaver goes, "Oh, you'd think that would belong better in a church than it would in someone's field."
Just, well, it serves a purpose. I think things that serve purposes are more important than just things that are just for decoration and show. And she starts.
How much food is in this cornucopia?
Well, more than you think.
Yeah, mythology.
And she looks wealthy?
She doesn't really look wealthy. The only thing that looks valuable that she has, the silver Wolfstead clasp might actually be silver, and the gloves look really nice. But everything else, I mean, it is like Granny's homespun cotton dress. There's nothing fancy.
Yeah,
Right.
Lavender doesn't understand what kind of gnome in the middle of the woods is like, look at all of my freshly baked foods and nice goods. Here, take some. Can I I don't have anything. Can I do an insight check? Because
I'm gonna detect evil.
Detect evil.
Mm-hmm.
16 plus 7, so
That's pretty good. 23.
thank you.
She everything she says and the way she behaves seems very genuine. And
God.
you don't detect any evil.
Oh, well, good. Then maybe she didn't steal the cornucopia. Okay. Well, I think it's lovely that you collect all these mementos, but I suppose we should be moving on, shouldn't we? I mean, we've certainly taken quite a bit of her time up already. I would hate to delay our trip to East River any. I'm sure Hope Master Gendelin is waiting for us.
I mean, no, it's not my problem, sister, but honestly, this is irritating me.
Well, thank you so much for stepping in my time of need. I'm sure the four of you will.
What were you doing in the river? Just for.
Now, that is a good question. How did you manage to get yourself into the middle of the river?
Yeah, is there a sign in the river?
Well, I thought I might go for a morning swim. And
In the river?
And then you
it's a
forgot
lot
how to swim.
deeper. It's a lot deeper than I thought.
Well, I mean, do you swim at all?
Thank you.
I haven't for a while, but I have before.
So again, you just forgot how to swim mid-swim.
Well,
Did you swim after a picnic? Because you should wait half an hour.
Sister Fadaver, not that is true. You ought to wait a half an hour or you'll cramp.
she says, well, anyway, it was great to meet all of you, and I'm gonna head my way. I'll send you on your way. Thank
But
you
you
again.
haven't finished painting the sign.
She says, "Oh, that's right. Well, I'll take it with me. But take this. I always like something sweet after a meal, even sweet after a snack." And she reaches out like wax paper wrapped bundle of like old granny hard candy.
Oh, jeez.
The worst hard
It's
candies.
fresh, but it's like,
It's not like the taffy from Coraline where she can't
It's
even
just
pull it.
labeled arsenic. Like she's
Yeah.
just
So she says, I know it may sound silly, but candy can be an excellent remedy sometimes. And she goes over and she throws this sign over her shoulder like it's PVC or something. I mean, it's like nothing to her.
She's a gnome, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
no wonder she couldn't float.
Okay.
She says, come on, Aspera. And the cat just starts wandering after her. Good luck. Good luck.
Okay.
That's gonna annoy me forever now.
She says, well, that was different. But then again, I suppose we ought to be on our way. And she looks at Odelia. We don't want to be late.
Oh, certainly not.
When I check the letter that Aelin left, does it look like this is the friend that was meant to be?
Well, she said, mentioned to
tiefling.
watch for a blue companion to join you. And lo and behold, Odelia favors blue armor.
Oh,
Perfect.
I mean, that's like Smurf. She's not a like Cookie Monster or something, but
No. Blue like the water, like for Moiris.
Smurf. Got it.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I'm not one of the wee folk.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well, you're not one of the big folk either.
Hey,
We should dick.
I don't
Moderately
appreciate
medium.
facts about my size.
Oh no, I would never. I've got no problem. You're absolutely precious.
At this, during this conversation, Thora speaks up and goes, "Sister, you didn't find it weird that this person we just ran into was carrying a holy symbol of Bestera, of Finhefara,
of Vara and Fauna.
of Vara and Vana?"
Well, I did think it weird when I saw that cornucopia. I was starting to think perhaps she'd stolen it.
Here, have some thinking candy.
Okay. She's confused. She's not quite sure what you mean by that.
Can I offer her the wax paper covered candy?
Well, Sister Faudever will just pop the candy into her mouth. She says, as she's lecturing on the glucose and keeping your blood sugar up, and candy is a good remedy, and she pops that candy right in her mouth. She says, well, this will give us a nice burst of energy as we head onto the road.
Make a con save. Thora is lost in thought.
Does not notice that Lavender's like, here, die.
Nope, didn't notice. He's too busy truly concerned about the fact that this gnome seemed to be fully capable of walking into a church and steal holy relics.
Is Odelia starting to get angry, or is she still just...
Nope, I am being very diplomatic. I've been working on my issues.
Okay. Very good. Well, what lovely opportunities to perfect your skills you're going to get. That's okay. So
Uh-oh.
Sister Faudever says, well, we should be on our way. And she heads back down the road.
Thora will follow. And he's now keeping an eye on the side of the road. He's using his ears to make sure he's not falling too far behind Sister Faudever, but he's looking for any sign of vandals, shitty kids.
Is Lavender still schwitzing over this visitor?
Yeah, she's not comfortable, but I think she's taken the ribbon off her sword. She's got it in her hand and invites Odelia to follow along to their group. I think you're meant to stick with us, at least for now.
All right. Thank you.
All right. as Sister Fadavera walks down the road, she turns to Lavender and she says, I didn't sense any evil from her. And then she looks down the road and trots on the way.
Mhm.
Well, evil is sort of a concept that we use in the church. It's not really an existence that we see in the average person. It could have been that she thought she had the right to take those items. I mean, maybe she misunderstood the idea of tithings. She pays some money, she gets something back. Or maybe the church was abandoned, or there were no priests around. Not necessarily evil, just rude.
Oh dear, you do think she stole all those items?
Oh, definitely.
Oh no.
She said she didn't. I mean, she was really nice and gave us food and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, that is
Don't you
true.
find
She
it
said she
strange?
didn't.
She had freshly baked goods in the middle of nowhere and just enough to give them away for free. Even in the town where we live, where, clerics are loved and adored, nobody gives you anything for free.
Oh, now that's not true, dear. Is this your first visit to the Republic? We have charitable institutions all over the place. The church is in charge of them. There's all kinds of things given away for free.
I'm hardly in need of charity.
Well, not you, dear, but those less fortunate. And she tries not to look at anyone in particular.
Okay.
It's like,
Thora will kind of slow down so he's even with everyone. And he'll turn to Lavender and say, this is completely obtuse and I wouldn't suggest it otherwise. Do you think that could have been a power?
That's not something I'd considered.
Because the sheer, and I know this is completely out of left field, but the fact that they were able to get their hands on multiple relics, and maybe they're not relics, but at the very least symbols of other gods' powers, has to be something.
Their comfort in mixing them is abnormal.
Exactly. And she
patron
sounded
saint
almost
of hard candy.
She sounded like a collector.
Mm. This is like a church riddle.
It does.
Can they make a knowledge religion check to see if there's any power that's a klepto?
There
God
is.
of thieves.
There-
Yeah.
there is
Oh
a
my
klepto.
god. My beloved Sabella.
Yeah.
It's actually just Sabella in old lady makeup.
That's
There we go.
exactly what I was thinking. I was like, she's messed with them all.
Okay.
Yes, queen. I mean, Sabella has stolen from Lavender, as we are aware.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I guess at this stage I would do a religion check to figure it out. 13, 11, 24. There we go. Numbers.
You're not aware of any specific like klepto power per se, but the mixing of symbols is unusual, but it's not unheard of. Usually a follower might worship two gods, maybe even some sort of little trio of gods, but the number of symbols you saw seemed more than coincidence.
What about a lack of religion? Like, am I aware of people who just disregard it entirely?
Yeah, there are people who, I mean, the faith of man, they pretty much have a.
They've returned. They're now gnomes.
That's the gnome branch.
But she seemed quite positive about each of your individual faiths. So
Is Lavender discussing this idea that she is a power out loud? I mean, are the rest of us hearing, or is Sister Fadavera too far down the road?
I mean, she's not making any effort to be quiet.
Is she just hedging her bets? I mean,
I'm getting into somebody's heaven. I'm not sure how.
I just kind of envision the guy from The Mummy, where he has like all
Yeah.
the different symbols and he's holding them up one after the other, doing all the different
Yeah.
prayers.
I just
Yeah.
love the idea though that like Thora and Lavender have this really serious conversation, and Lavender's like, "What?"
I mean, there's I don't know. She seemed nice.
She's weird.
Is the candy good? I mean, that's
The candy is great.
okay.
It's a lot better than it looks.
Oh wow. You really should try the candy.
Piece
Oh,
of that.
it's delicious. Didn't she get one of her own?
She just gave you a big old pack that I think
Oh.
handed it to
I
Lavender.
have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she hands this to Lavender. Okay.
I hold the candy jar.
Yeah.
I have all the power.
Make me piggy.
She's gonna reward Sister every time she like doesn't say something rude. It's like, well done.
I'm gonna get a Scooby snack. Yeah, but didn't Odelia just hold out her hand for one?
Yes,
Yeah, I'll
please.
give it to her. It's not my problem.
Okay.
Having seen that Sister Fodder did not die, Odelia will unwrap one for herself.
Gotcha.
Here we go.
And Lulu's using the scientific method to determine this is the control, this is the experiment.
Mhm.
But look, ethics board says it's okay because one consented.
So you guys, within a few hours, you come to an outlying farm. You are not in East River proper, but just like a lot of these towns, there are those that choose to live a little farther away. The garden area looks like it hasn't been watered very well, and weeds haven't been cleaned out. Some kind of animal pen is open, but the only animal you can see is a cow whose udder is so full that it nearly drags on the ground and appears to be red and inflamed.
Oh.
Yeah. So you guys have the map?
I gotta help that cow. What? That's awful.
This one, the one with the cow on it.
Well, use the black. Do you have the one that I sent in the email today?
Yes.
We'll just use that one. That's
Gotcha.
that one there. So, yeah, the cow is back kind of by those trees, maybe at about W5 area, and you guys are walking up from the bottom, and as you walk up, you see a pair of children, a boy and a girl, come running around the barn, chased by a third girl, a slightly younger girl. And they seem to be playing a game, laughing when they see you. And they pause and look and kind of cock an eyebrow and walk up. And the boy looks up at Lavender. What race is Lavender?
She's an elf.
He's an elf, yeah. So looks at you and says, "Hey, what are you?"
Are they related to Sister Fodder?
I am Lavender, the paladin of Vahara. Is this your home?
That's what you're called? A paladin of what?
Yeah.
I mean, why are your ears so pointy?
Oh, I'm an elf.
Elf. And he laughs, and the little girls laugh a little bit too.
Okay, Sister Fodder frowns and scolds them. She says, "Now, children, that's no way to speak about someone else's."
Oh,
Condition.
just leave them be. And I am right on their level, I'm guessing. And so I say it's totally understandable to just, if you've never seen someone like that before, but she's very nice. She's very nice once you get to know her.
Everybody make a perception check.
They're not
Okay.
children.
I'm not trained in that at all.
My perception.
19.
27.
14.
My perception is so bad. 15.
Okay, so Odelia and Thora, you both you're kind of looking them over. Odelia up close, and Thora kind of from a more objective point of view. The boy and the younger girl look pretty pale and skinny. That it's noticeable, and I think Sister Fodderberry, you're the only one trained in heal, right?
Yeah.
Make a heal check.
27.
Oh wow, yeah.
Dysentery. They've got dysentery.
The thing that stands out to you is that their eyes are totally bloodshot and their pupils are dilated. And like you can see like when the boy moves, even through his shirt, you can see his ribs poking through, like he's maybe a little bit malnourished. But the boy says, "I'm Aimer. What's your name?"
He said it to a lavender.
The lavender. You said you're an elf.
Mm-hmm. You can call me Lavender.
Lavender. This is my sister Chloe and Tabitha. What are you doing here? And Tabitha interrupts him and says, "Aimer, we really shouldn't talk to strangers. Can you people leave now?"
Oh, it's all right, dear. We're not strangers. We're here on the behalf of the Church of Bestera. I'm a paladin of Bestera. You may call me Sister Fodiver. And she waits for them to be impressed.
We are strangers, but
I pull out the food that I had put in my pack from our little picnic earlier, because I had totally saved some for later, and offer it to the kids, and I say, "My name's Odelia, and you can call me Odelia."
He says, one, like the littler girl reaches out and just grabs something and starts eating it, something small, and the older one that he said was named Tabitha, kind of says, don't eat food from strangers."
But dear, we're not strangers. We're here from the Church of Bestera. Haven't you ever had meals from the church before? You look so hungry, you poor little things.
The Hope Master said we should leave. He said we shouldn't be in East River anymore, and people are leaving anyway. He said we should go to Ironmeter or Domer. And Aimer says, "Hey, maybe we should go with you. If you're not strangers, would you take us to Ironmeet or Domer?"
And Lavender's worst nightmares have been realized. You don't have an older adult with you? A mom or a dad?
Yes,
Or is it like really weird?
He says, "Oh, Mommy and Daddy are asleep in the house."
Oh no.
Lulu's immediate reaction was the best.
Will you take us with you? Mommy and Daddy are asleep. Sister Fodiver looks alarmed, and she says, "I think I'll just go check on Mommy and Daddy," and she runs towards the house.
I will help her. Odelia, Thor, thank you. And then she leaves.
Yeah.
Here you go, Ardelia. Here's some kids.
You look comfortable.
Oh, I'm quite pleased.
Thora will join Ordelia with the kids, and he'll sit on the ground, and he'll show the kids how he can like place his hands on the ground, and like small lilies or something will sprout around his fingers, just to keep the kids like focused on them instead of on the other two who just ran toward the house.
So I want you guys to both make a perception check.
Thora and Ordelia?
Uh-huh.
Ordelia? Excuse me.
21.
Ooh.
30.
Okay.
Dang.
I have a plus 11 and I rolled a
Right,
19.
okay.
A 21 is great, but unfortunately, it is not quite enough. However, a 30 is. You notice Tabitha standing up apart from the other two, and she starts to kind of mumble, like she's upset. You also notice that the little girl, Chloe, she seems to be like chewing on the sleeve of her dress. And after she does that, she starts to kind of laugh. And it doesn't seem normal, like a little laugh. And as she's laughing, you catch sight, there's a lilac color to her tongue. So she's giggling, and Tabitha's standing apart, kind of muttering something. And it's initiative.
Okay. Odelia, I suggest we take a step away from the children.
Yeah, this doesn't seem quite right.
Mutant Ranch and chat. Go ahead.
I love kids, and so I'm still holding back. My initiative's only 8.
Mutant Ranch in chat goes, creepy kids. Fight! Okay.
Spark. Purple tongue, she's actually the giraffe. I knew it.
Sister Fadavera gets a 15.
I didn't roll. Initiative. Sorry, everyone. I didn't think I was involved. That's a 12.
Did you add your bonus, Lavender?
To initiative?
Yeah. Did you add your bonus? Okay.
And Thora got a 20.
Okay, because you made your perception check, you may act, Thora.
Okay.
So it's just going to be you and Tabitha. The other two kids seem to just be kind of giggly, but she is obviously menacing, and what she's doing. It seems like she's using some sort of magic. It sounds like she's chanting something under her breath.
Thora is going to. God, these are kids.
Let's place everybody on the board.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Thora at H13.
H13.
Kind of hanging out by the fence with Aimer, the boy, in I12, and Chloe, the little girl, in J12. Tabitha in K15.
Well, slow down there, G.
Sorry.
Chloe was in J12?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Odelia in, what do you say, probably H14 next to Thora.
She's behind Thora?
Yeah, well, they're just sitting side by side standing side by side near that fence.
Gotcha.
Talking with the kids.
Okay.
As far as Lulu or Lavender and Sister Fadavera, we'll put Lavender at E6 and Sister Fadavera at E7. When you guys enter the house, you see that the parents are asleep. They are in there and they're asleep. They're not dead.
Oh.
Okay? But I want you to make Sister Fadavera a heal check.
28.
28. Okay. They are under the effect of something. With a more thorough examination, you think you can figure out what it's going to be, but it's not a natural sleep.
They've been drugged. Did they look?
Yeah, it looks like they're in almost some sort of stasis. And with a 28, you know you can figure out what caused it with a little bit of investigation. But even right now, you think that if you were to attempt to wake them prematurely without not in the right way, you could do permanent damage to them. So it's not like you can just smack them and wake them up and not risk.
All right.
Hurting them.
share that information?
On
You
my
all-
turn, yeah, I'll use my minor action on my turn to tell Lavender.
You can also tell that they've been in this state for a number of days.
Does it stink?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they've messed
but
with
not as much as you'd think. It's not like it really is more of a stasis than a sleep.
Do I know any drug that might do that, or is it magical?
You do know of a drug, Yep,
What drug would do that?
it's called tensabra, and it's from the south, very very far to the south, grown in the desert. It's rare and strange. You don't know how it would. I mean, obviously illegal.
Is it recreational?
No,
Okay.
no.
There was
It-
judgment
but
coming.
It's the kind of drug. Think of the drug that Romeo took to make himself look like he was asleep. Something kind of like that, only stronger. That can be administered correctly, can keep someone alive and just in a sleep-like state for a long period of time.
Okay.
This whole thing is terrifying.
That's not good.
So out in the fields, Thor, what are you gonna do?
Where was the third girl, the one who was mumbling? Where was she at?
She's in K15.
K15. Okay, I did put her in the wrong spot on my thing. Thor's gonna be shaped. He like there's like a shudder in the air and like just swarms of beetles fly out of his cloak, and then the cloak just kind of dissipates. And he is going to move in her direction, and he's just going to use Savage Rend. I'm going to try and knock her out. I'm not trying to do like permanent damage. I'm just trying to make sure she's out of the fight. And that's wisdom versus reflex.
Okay, her reflex is 18.
Okay. No, that's a 4 on the die. Yeah, that doesn't hit.
Yeah, 4 doesn't ever hit. Almost
Nope.
ever.
So which square do you move to?
I moved to sorry, didn't mean to bump the mic. I'm moving to J15.
Okay. All right. So because you made your perception check, you get to participate, and then Tabitha gets to participate. She is going to whatever she's casting is she's going to continue with that, and since it's a ranged it's an area effect, you can make an opportunity attack if you'd like.
I will. Would that be Savage Rend again? Because he doesn't
Yep.
have a melee attack. Okay.
Yep, Savage Rend works.
Come
as a melee.
on, give me something better.
Big money, big money.
It's another 4.
Oh, switch the die. That's not...
Okay, so her attack is going to target Thora and Odelia.
Oh,
So
run, Odelia, run!
It's the +9 versus Will. Against Thora, it's a 26.
Yeah.
Against Odelia, it's an 18 against Will.
That definitely.
What's your Will?
15.
Okay, so she hits you both. So she like I said, she's down there and she's angry and she's casting and she's like dodging out of the way and from these bugs, and then she raises her head and screams this horrible sounding word, not like a cuss word, like a it doesn't sound common. It sounds like it's another language.
Mhm.
And you guys are both dazed and immobilized. Save-ins.
Ow.
Yeah. So he does that, and you're just like, oh my goodness. And not only that, but you start to feel like, I think I need a nap. Like this is poppies, all over the place. And now we are at the top of initiative. From the barn comes a gray-skinned creature with big black eyes. It looks, picture kind of like Gollum, if Gollum had solid black eyes, and small, about the size of Odelia. And as it he actually steps through, you see this, it's like a vortex open in front of him, right inside the barn door, and then the vortex opens, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The vortex opens in K13 and he steps out of it.
Oh, geez.
And then he and then he shifts over to J14 next to Thora. And he has claws that look thin and pointy, like if a child grew really long and sharpened fingernails. They look like they're gonna stab you with a bunch of little needles or something. But he looks so excited to just jump on you. Okay. Behind him come running 2 more of these same kinds of creatures. They actually run, though. They don't do that little teleport thing. So they will double move to be on either side of Tabitha. So there's one in K14 and one in K16. These creatures, by the side of them, what you can tell is that they're Fey. Beyond that, if you want to make an Arcana check, if you're trained in Arcana, you can make an Arcana check to determine more information about them. And then we would be back to you, Thora.
How do I know if I'm trained in Arcana? I can't remember.
There will be a check by the Arcana skill.
Oh, okay. I am.
18 plus 13. So 31.
Oh, dang. Lavender wrote a paper on that one, too.
I wrote a lot of papers. I have no friends.
I rolled an 11.
Plus, you rolled an 11 total, Odelia?
No, I rolled a 4.
Oh,
That's plus my 7.
the 4. The 4 has been the most prominent number this evening.
So you can barely tell they're Fey. It's so startling because they're like your size. When you see them, Lavender, you recognize them on sight as boggles. They are. I know that might sound cheesy, but they are
From Labyrinth?
evil Fey that are known for their abilities to teleport, and not just to teleport, but actually they're thieves, and they can steal through their little portals. So from like squares away, they could reach through into someone's house and take something and pull it back out.
Do I think the gnome from before was a teleporting boggle?
Only you, because you're extremely suspicious, but she didn't detect evil, and these things, they're malicious, malignant Fey. So there's not like a good boggle out there.
Gotcha.
He wouldn't last,
The children aren't boggles, are they? Or are they like mid-boggle transformation?
No, the children, you made your...
Oh, it's not my turn. It's not my turn. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's Thora's turn.
You're dazed, Thora. You got one action.
I have one action.
No pressure.
These guys are a threat. He's going to use Insect Swarm. It's close burst 1.
Ooh.
Which should catch all of the boggles except one.
Nope, all the boggles and Tabitha.
All right.
And Odelia.
And it is Wisdom versus Fortitude. So here we go.
Not Odelia. Odelia is 1 square away.
Oh, cool.
Whoo, boy.
Tabitha's fortitude is 17.
Okay. I rolled for. Do I roll for each creature?
Yep.
Okay. So Tabitha that's a 23.
Hit. Okay. For the first boggle.
The first. Go ahead.
Yep. Yep. No, go ahead. The first boggle. You got
that's a 18.
hit, and the other two that came out.
That's a 16.
Also a hit.
Ooh.
And that's a 14.
That's a miss.
Okay.
So we'll say you missed the one in K16, but the others you hit, and then you roll damage once.
Gotcha. That's 11 points of damage.
Okay, so what does that look like?
A swarm of insects that were just kind of together in this kind of conglomerate just kind of explode out like in 5 feet in every direction and then just kind of continue to swarm. The area of the burst is lightly obscured for your enemies until the end of my next turn.
Nice. All right. Now, the more important thing is your saving throw to end this dazed and immobilized.
Come on. Another 4. Here we come. Ready?
No, not the 4.
Not much better. It's a 6.
Okay.
Plus wisdom. No.
No plus.
Oh, it's just a save. Okay.
Yep.
No.
So you go unconscious.
Oh boy.
This lovely feeling of poppies just go. You go all swarmy, and then it's like, ooh, and all the bugs just settle to the ground in a nice snooze.
No pressure, Odelia. You got this. You got this. It's all you.
Well, it is 12:30 here, so good night, everybody.
There is not.
Sister Pot-of-Air. Sister Pot-of-Air.
Oh boy.
You heard the scream, Tabitha's scream from outside. So
Okay.
you know there's crap
well,
going on out there.
She'll take the run action and run outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That puts her in square 12L. Provided that we left the door open, which I'm assuming we did, since we both ran in there.
Yeah.
And then there's all kinds of bugs on the floor.
Yeah. It's sort of like when beekeepers spray the smoke. They're just like chilling on the ground, taking a snooze.
Okay.
And you see these boggles for the first time, and it's like, to your eyes, they just appeared out of nowhere. So.
Okay. Oh dear. What can I do? I just don't know. All right.
The children, all by the way, the other two, not Tabitha, but the other two by the well, their giggling is subsiding, but they're still kind of got the giggles.
Okay. So Sister Pot-of-Air comes running outside, and she sees all of these little boggles and all the bugs all over the floor and whatnot. And she casts the virtue spell and says, "Sweet protector and provider, shield me with the power of chastity." And then she glows with a holy white light that covers her like a shield. And then let's see. The only thing I can do is charge. So what I will do is I will use Divine Challenge on Tabitha.
Okay.
Which is a minor. So that's all of my actions. So if she doesn't attack me, she's going to get some shocking radiant damage. So she points towards Tabitha and she says, "By the power of Destera, I announce you as sinner and command you to face me."
And look, it's Tabitha's turn.
Oh, no, boy. I changed my mind. That's not...
Okay. So does she take any kind of damage starting her turn in your aura, or is it just concealed?
Nope. She only takes damage if she doesn't attack me. If she attacks...
No, I mean Thora's aura.
No. And it would have failed because I think I went on. Okay. Yeah, no, it's just lightly obscured. The entire the entire burst area is lightly obscured.
Okay, so she is going to move out of that into square M14. Still 1 square away from Sister Fought of Air. And you see her go like this, like her eyes open, but have you seen that lady who can like make her eyes pop out of her head a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does. Like
Yeah.
her eyes pop out of her head, and the whites disappear and they go all black. And she gives you this look, and you feel her like in your head, trying to. It feels kind of like someone's trying to just squeeze your brain. So she gets an 18 versus will.
Ha! She missed. I have a 19.
So you feel her trying to get in, and then she kind of goes back, and her eyes go back to normal, and that bothers her.
So of course she's gonna action point because she's mad. Yeah.
It bothers her. So she's not ready to action point yet.
But she does have one.
Well, I got to see if she recharges her sleep.
Oh,
She does
Oh,
not
good.
recharge her sleep. Okay. So then when that fails, she reaches into a pocket and pulls out a dagger, and is just and then just looks menacing, right at you. And now it would be Lavender.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna follow the sister, but can I charge?
Yeah. You got
Since-
plenty
yeah,
of
so-
movement.
I'll charge at Tabitha. I can get to her.
Yep. You can get yep.
And then I'll use the melee basic attack with it.
Okay, her AC is 20.
Okay, awesome. Plus 9. Yeah, that 22 to hit.
Hit.
Right. Yeah. So 1d10 damage. Sorry, everyone. I know.
no worries.
No.
You're fine, man.
You're fine.
We're good.
I've got your character sheet up too, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
I'm napping.
13 damage. Which
Nice.
is my standard action. Do I add anything on for charge? I feel like I do.
I think you have an avalanche warhammer that does something for you when you charge.
Thank
I'm-
you.
I'm looking down right now.
Yes, I do. Okay.
Ooh.
I knew it was an important thing.
Yes, when
um,
you charge an enemy.
Does an extra d10. So add on 10. Hey, hey.
Nice.
Ooh.
All right. Nice.
Take that, Missy.
So
Heck yeah.
23.
Oof.
What does that look like when your hammer connects, Lavender?
Terrified anger. It's like, oh, you're evil, but also you look like a child. Oh, just yeah, it's not a good look. I don't know.
Okay, I need you to make an insight check.
Oh God, have I killed a child? No, 20. Oh my God.
You take 1d6
Wait, no,
points of guilt damage.
My insight is better than that.
Natural
Actually. What am I
20?
adding it to? It's an 18 plus 7, which is not 20.
25.
Thank you.
But a 25 is sufficient. Okay, where you have gotten this close to her and attacked her in mid-combat, you see a facade start to fade before your eyes. Like as you look and you catch sight of some pointed teeth, and for a second her ears look a little pointed, and you're like, she's some kind of fey thing too. She doesn't look like a boggle, but she is definitely not a human child.
Solid.
Good. So good.
Well, no, could be a non-human child. Oh dear. Okay. Can I use my minor action to see if they are able to be reasoned with, whether like the non-boggles can be reasoned with?
You using your paladin power?
My paladin power, yeah.
Which power?
It's a special lavadin power, which I should have warned you about, that I didn't warn you about.
I
So
warned him.
instead of did you? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I
Instead
warned
of detect good and evil, she has detect whether they can be reasoned with or not.
All right, and you want to look at the other two children?
Yeah.
Okay. The other two children, I'm going to what you see is damaged brain. Yes, they would, but there's some kind of effect on them that is making it that so you don't know that in their current state they could, but it's not a natural state. So what you see, it's sort of like you see this shimmering glow of yes, they could, and then there's this turbulence moving around them.
Okay. And Lavadis says, "Nobody attack the children. That was a mistake."
And Odelia's like, why would we have to say that?
Welcome to the group.
As you just bash one in the face, because you're the only one who's seen through the disguise.
Totally, that reaction was so real.
Yeah.
That was like true pain.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
the
boy.
children. Okay, the children, they stop laughing and they start making a really ugly sound. I want you to think Ghostbuster when right before she says there is no Dana, and she's like, that they start making this horrible sound and looking around, and their eyes look even more bloodshot than before. But
This is
but they don't do
Chloe. This is Chloe and the little boy who are doing this.
Yep. The two kids.
Okay.
Are they
and
still in
this
the
is
same place?
Yeah, they're still standing by the well, and
Okay.
they've stopped with the giggling. And as they're doing that, the rest of you notice for the first time that sort of this lilac colored taint to their lips and tongue as they're sitting there.
Oh.
Okay. And Odelia, your turn.
Okay, so I'm still dazed, right?
You are dazed. Yep.
So that means I can't move.
You get one action, so you can either move or attack, but a charge is one action.
Okay.
Can you charge the days, Matt? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you can charge me days. You get one action. You can do anything you want. You can move. You can channel divinity. You can use one of your spells, but you only get one action.
Okay. I am freaking out because clearly these are not normal children, and so I'm just going to go right to calling to Moiris, and I'm just going to raise my hand and send a wave of water right at them. It's a blast 3. So does that mean it goes out for me in all directions?
A blast comes out like a cone, so 90 degrees. So you can hit.
I would like it. Do I say where I'd like it to go, or how does that work?
Yeah, it just originates from you, so you can have it go in pretty much three squares, like a little 3x3 brick somewhere.
Okay,
So she can hit everybody, right?
I'd like it to go from H12 where Aimer is. So H12 over to L12 and down to L14. So it's that. Is that how it works? So
no, so it has to come from you.
3 up, 3 over.
Yeah, it's like the cone from 5th edition.
So, but starting, so I'm just counting one too many squares.
Yeah, just from your space and count 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so that would be J, not K. Okay.
No,
So
it could still be. It could still be K. Yeah. So you could
Okay.
get the
I can
all three of the boggles, just not
and the
Tabitha.
2 little boggles, right?
All 3 boggles, just not Tabitha.
Oh, there's a boggle up there. Okay. So you'll have to help me figure out how to work that. I don't know. I'm a little confused by the numbers here.
That's not a problem. So look at the top. Are you using the buffeting wave power?
Yes.
So look at the top of the buffeting wave, and it'll tell you what your attack bonus is.
So it says
So-
+8. So I roll a d20.
Yep. Roll d20 and add 8.
For each person
Come
in
on.
the area.
No.
All right. Well, that's a 15 against the first one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that would be against.
And I rolled another 4 for the second one.
4. The cursed number. The new
and
number of
and
the
last one.
I told Matt coming in, I said, you have to know, like, I'm a real low roller.
That's okay. We'll get you high modifiers.
All right. Okay. How many times am I rolling? 5 altogether?
One more. Nope, one more.
Oh, one more. That one's a 17.
That'll hit. So you hit the one in J14. The other 2 you missed.
Okay, so that does 1d6 plus 4. So it does 7 damage.
And does the power say it pushes them underneath the
It knocks them
description?
prone.
And it pushes them. Oh wait, no, it just says the target falls prone.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So describe what that looks like.
So let's see here. So it didn't get the children at all.
Nope,
It just got the
the one boggle.
one boggle. So clearly I was holding back a bit because I'm still freaked out that they look like children. But the boggles I can tell are nasty wee things. And so that one pushes him right over, but then the waters just recede and sink down into the earth.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's the first round of initiative. We are back to the top with the first boggle that came out, and we're at 10:31. Well, at least 10:31 Mountain Time, which means it's past John's bedtime. And so before we go, we have a tradition as part of Holy Rollerz that we want to extend to Special Ops as well, that is called Consider This. And so it's usually a thought, a scripture, a song, a quote, something that that has hit us in some way that is good. And so I wanted to share one that I had. Let me just bring that up real quick. Or maybe not as quick as I thought.
No worries.
I feel like the inspiration's draining here. While we're like, I was like
Yeah,
already,
it's really going. Like,
I was all ready to receive, but now I'm becoming resistant. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm too
yeah.
busy as a pile of beetles on the ground just snoozing.
See,
Oh.
I think that's like the goal aesthetic is to be a pile of beetles on the ground.
A wet
reminds
pile
me-
of beetles.
That
yeah,
reminds
I
me.
date it.
Normally, Odelia, you would have to make a save at the end of your turn, just like Thora did.
Oh.
However, for some reason, you are able to throw it off without any save.
The
You feel
candy.
You feel this little boost of energy, and you're like, it's gone. So
I could go all day.
Bring it.
The candy.
See, Lavender, it was a power, and you should have eaten the ganj. Yeah.
I should have, yeah.
Hindsight's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It's alright, I still got the candy jar.
Oh. She's got all the candy.
I got all the candy. Oh
Okay.
man, that makes it even creepier with us being strangers and talking to kids though. Like, I've got the candy jar.
Ew.
Magical candy too.
Hey, little girl, want some candy? Yeah.
Stop.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Stop.
an elf, I swear.
We're
It's
gonna
a
want.
real twist that the strangers with the candy are the ones who ended up getting attacked.
I play an evil clown in an upcoming video, and this is still creeping me out more.
Okay.
Okay, so on to something positive.
Yay.
Good transition.
No, I wanted
A-plus
to.
segue.
So with my children, we're reading in the Bible, and we're reading one of Paul's epistles, and he says in there something that I thought was great, because he describes it being the need to be rooted and built up and established in faith, and then he says, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. And the thing I liked about that is, regardless of a person's faith, I think it's important to have faith and recognize faith as a power that is beyond just what our logical minds can do. Yes, we can see things. Yes, we can experience things, but there is, I had a friend who was an atheist, and even they would describe this idea of intuition. And I'm like, intuition, that sounds a lot like faith to me. But I think that it comes down to doing that, that whatever we're hit with in the world, we need to cling to some roots. And those roots could be family. They could be love of friends. But ultimately, those things come down to faith. I believe that that my faith is what grounds me and what keeps me feeling that closeness with the people I love. And that's no matter what I learn or what I read or what I watch on the news, I can always go back to that. And I think I feel sympathy for anybody who can't. So find your faith and then stay rooted in it is my consider this. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I really like the idea of it being grounding, but also when you said about it being something more than you can explain, or beyond logic, and I like that idea too, because there's a lot of people who try to criticize those of faith by saying like, oh well, that could never happen the way it was written in the Bible. But I think it is a lot about intuition and a sense of relationship that you grow over time. So yeah, I appreciate that. That's pretty fascinating.
I like it because I don't know, and Lulu and John, I know you guys are even more connected, I think, than I am. There's a lot of despair in the D&D Twitter community. I don't know if you guys have known. I mean, I know Twitter is kind of a cesspool, right? But it's how we connect to the D&D community, and so I find a great value in that. But I hear a lot of despairing in across Twitter in a number of instances, and I always think to myself, if you wallow in that, as opposed to believing that things are going to get better, and for those of us who believe in a higher power, that belief is based in God or in whatever belief system we have, right? But I think there's power in just faith in yourself, and faith that things will get better, faith that that life can get better, that can always improve, and we can do our best, whatever that might look like. And I think it's about controlling your thoughts, and so I think that's a beautiful idea. I think it does ground you. When you choose to believe good things will come, and that there's good in the world too. I think that's such a powerful thing. It just changes the way you encounter difficulty. So I love that thought.
Well, I like to think that being religious, no matter what religion it is also part about finding gratitude in the moment as well. And I find that my faith often helps me think things that are difficult, and I don't know if they're going to get better or not, but I can still be grateful that I'm who I am in that moment, and I have who I have. So we don't always have to imagine having the mansion in the future, but it's the little things.
Mm-hmm. A perfect example is I am not a very religious person. I have faith, more in the kindness of others than in a higher power. This is just I'm a bit of an off in this group, but like a perfect example is I got contacted by a young man. I say young man, he's 10 years my senior. But who literally reached out because he heard about me from someone else. And we spent 2 hours talking about our experiences. And I've already connected him with 3 people that he needed to meet. It wasn't like a sunbeam fell on this man. No, it was just a perfect set of circumstances that lined up into us being the perfect connection to introduce each other to a wider net. And call it divine intervention, call it fate, call it coincidence, but it's real. And a lot of that stems from self-confidence, which I think religion, to a lot of people, myself included in the past, gives you that self-confidence.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that confidence, like the word in Spanish is confianza, which also has this idea of trust, and you trust. The faith, trust, confidence, they all kind of go together in putting your trust into something. And it's okay to put that trust into whether that's into God or into a parent, or those things can be good, or into, like you said, into ourselves,
or even into just a stranger you meet.
Yeah.
Trust in other people. People are good. I don't know about that lady though.
Unless
Don't
they're
just take candy from someone you don't know.
That gnome lady? Come on. Like, can we just spend another 5 minutes discussing her? Because I don't trust it.
We could, but first I want Tommy, do you have anything to kick in?
Well, I always think when I think about that, being rooted and grounded about trees, and how that's how they survive in all the storms, and the deeper their roots go, the stronger the storms they can survive. So it doesn't work as well if your connection with what you believe in is just superficial, that you'll blow over at the first breeze that comes along. But the deeper you can send down those roots, of really having a true connection to what you believe in, the stronger you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I think our special ops debut was a success, and we'll find out if John wakes up, or if Lavender decides to kill the children. We'll just figure all of that out.
No one knows, even the player. What?
With a sledgehammer.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
See you later, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.